Hello, everybody. Welcome. I see we already have questions, so that's exciting. But before we get going, I just want to say hi to everybody. Happy Hump Day. I do have my kids home, my standard disclaimer for the summer. So hopefully we don't have interruptions or loudness, but I can't guarantee it. Also, if you try commenting and you're not subscribed, it won't work. I do have a filter put on there that you have to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes to comment. And that's basically because I used to do lives and would get nasty comments like of the sexual variety. And it was just not something I wanted to deal with. So I put that out there and it seems to help. So if you don't subscribe, I know people don't like to subscribe to channels because it clogs their feed sometimes. No hard feelings if you unsubscribe afterwards, but whatever. You do need to be subscribed to comment. And I try to keep these around half an hour. Sometimes it ends up going long, but we'll see. My kids, I just basically barricade them upstairs and tell them they have to be quiet. So I try to keep it to a minimum. And I'm going to get started with questions now. So welcome, everyone. Always love doing these. And the first question that I see is Carissa is saying that she does a 2-hour OMAD and notices that if she stuffs herself, she can still gain weight. And I think she's asking if I notice that for myself. One thing I'll say is I know that I personally could eat a lot in 2 hours every day. And that's one of the reasons I have shorter eating windows, and I'll do 26-hour fast, or I do a down day and then an up day. The up day allows me to eat more. And I think that helps me not overstuff. I also don't weigh myself every day because, and I don't know if you're gaining weight long term, or you weighed 175 this morning and yesterday you were 174.5. I know my personal weight fluctuates up and down a lot. So I did as Jen Stevens recommended. When I was losing weight, I did my weekly average. So Monday through Sunday, I would add up my weight every day and then figure out what the average was. And then I'd compare it to the same average week to week, because the fluctuations, if I stuff myself, I probably will weigh more one morning to the next. I don't weigh myself anymore because it kind of messes with my head. And I'm at a point where I just feel good and I'm enjoying eating, and I feel like I'm in a good weight. I'm in a healthy weight range. I don't hate myself in clothes. So I'm at a mental good space that I really don't care what the number is that's associated with it. So I don't weigh myself frequently. But if you are eating so much in every 2-hour window, I would consider having a couple longer fasts or a couple of short eating windows. I can really enjoy my dinner especially if it's a dinner I planned out, and have dinner, a drink that I like with it, and a little candy bar afterwards in a 20-minute period. I do 20-minute eating windows probably at least once a week, not purposely, but it's more situational. I really like this dinner, so I'm going to eat a lot at one time, and then I close my window because I'm so full that it would be hours before I'm hungry again. And the 20-minute eating window, I think just the variety helps me to not gain weight. You could try throwing that stuff in there. But I know if I ate 2 hours every day and I was allowing myself to stuff myself every day, I could definitely gain weight. Let's see, next. Dreaming Cat Studio says that I'm happy you're here too. She says she's happy to catch the live. But when I first started, did I eat all the things I do now, or did I wait until I lost weight? So she mentioned sugary treats, bread, tortillas, alcohol. I probably didn't do much alcohol just because I really don't drink too much, but I didn't eliminate it from my diet. I definitely ate all the things. And the thing is, I wasn't going from Weight Watchers, restricting what I was eating, to intermittent fasting and then adding all the food back in. I was already eating all the foods. So I had been at a high weight while eating all the foods. So I basically just didn't change my diet. I ate the same way that I ate before I was doing fasting. And then I went into fasting and didn't change my diet. I ate what I wanted, which included sugar, carbs, tortillas, and what was the other thing? Bread, and alcohol. So I did not change my diet. I just simply stuck to OMAD. And then I pretty quickly added in the down day and an up day. And yes, I ate all the things. And now, with that being said, I specifically remember Culver's. I I felt so free to get Culver's concrete sundaes when we got them, just because I did have that in my eating window. We don't go to Culver's every day because it's expensive, and I know that wouldn't be beneficial to me. So while I did, yes, eat Culver's, and I still love Culver's concrete mixers, it's not daily, but I definitely did not eliminate it. I still made elephant ears that summer, and I ate them when I made them. But it's just not a daily thing. But there was nothing eliminated from my diet, and I didn't diet at all. So yes, while I lost weight, I ate all the things. I'm just reading through because some of this is talking amongst everyone, which I absolutely love. Hi, Shelly. Nice to see you here. One of her books that she does OMAD, and she opens up with so Kim's mentioned, Jen Stevens stated in one of her books that she does OMAD, and she opens up a 3 to 4 hour window. I think TR, you mean time restricting, I'm guessing. Isn't this the same as TR 24? And do you see results more one versus the other? I think, so you're asking if OMAD with a 3 to 4 hour window is the same as time restricted eating with a 24-hour fast and a 4-hour eating window. If you do them exactly the same way, it's the same. I don't really think it matters much what you call it. And I think that's where some people really get hung up. So I say I do OMAD, and I get comments like earlier today. Someone's like, you say you do OMAD, but if you have an entree, an appetizer, and a dessert, you're eating 3 meals. That's not OMAD, but I digress. Okay, honestly, it does not bother me at all when people say this. The only reason I address it is for new people starting, and I point it out so that they know they're not alone. I do OMAD because guess what? If I go out to dinner and I wasn't fasting, and I had previously ate breakfast, and then I went to lunch, and I still went to dinner with a friend, and I ordered an entree, and we previously had if we had an appetizer, an entree, and then a dessert, I wouldn't say that I ate 5 meals that day. I'd say I had 3 meals. I went to dinner with my friend, and yes, dinner included a 3-course dinner, but it still was dinner. That's how my frame of reference. Is that dictionary OMAD? I don't know. I don't think there is a definition that is 100% strictly. I think it's implemented different ways. So if you have a 4-hour eating window and you fast 20 hours, it's the same exact thing. It doesn't really matter if you call it time restricted eating. I think that's what you mean by TR. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Or OMAD. Does it really matter? No. The point is you're fasting 20 hours and then you're having a 3 to 4 hour eating window. For me personally, I don't have the same amount of eating window every day. I just make sure I fast 18 hours. It usually ends up around 21 to 22 hours. Then I eat. Sometimes my eating window is 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes my eating window is 4 hours. And it really depends on what I'm eating. And like last night, we had dinner at home. We took our kids to go-kart area, and then I had dessert when we got home. So it was a 2.5 hour eating window. I wasn't eating the whole time, but to me, that's still OMAD. I ate dinner and I had dessert. It was delicious. I loved it. And then I kept fasting. So I don't really think it matters what you call it. But yes, I would think it's the same thing. So the results would be the same. And I guess it really depends. Are you constantly eating over that 3 to 4 hour period? I could eat a lot every 3 to 4 hours eating window if I allowed myself to eat a lot. Dawn says, thanks for sharing my knowledge. You're welcome. How do I suggest telling family and friends that you're intermittent fasting without them thinking you're crazy? Everyone did think I was crazy. I am pretty sure my husband, I'm an idea person. I like to try a lot of things. And so I, over the years, have presented him with a lot of thoughts or new things I'm going to try. And I have since learned that it may be an ADHD type thing. I've never been diagnosed with that or anything similar, but where you fixate on something for a little while and you buy all the supplies and you have a lot of interest in one area, and then all of a sudden you're not interested and you move on. I've always been that type of person. So I think he kind of thought it was going to be something like that, where I was really excited to try this out and I thought it was going to be the answer, and then it would go away. So I don't think he really was fazed by it much. I was still eating dinner with the family, still made dinner, so it didn't really impact him. My parents, well, my mom has kind of done fasting before, but it wasn't really like under the umbrella of a term fasting. So she was pretty receptive, and she's always been very supportive and just kind of listens to me. But I had it more from like friends who would be like, well, you're going to not be able to work out, which I don't work out. So that was hilarious. Or I didn't, especially then. You're not going to have energy to this. How are you going to still be able to insert whatever their concern was? I just basically said, read this book. I think there's a lot of good information, and maybe don't tell people you're doing it until you have more confidence in the results. Because now when people say like, oh, I could never do that, I have no problem. Like, here's the benefits. Here's how I like to work out. If I do a workout, I like to do it in a fasted state. I feel better when I don't blah, blah, blah. Like when you have the experience and the positive history with fasting, you're going to have more confidence in your rebuttals. So if you're in situations where you're not ready to tell someone because you don't have the confidence to like back up your beliefs with it, I just say, oh, I'm not hungry. I'm going to have coffee right now. And then they're going to see you like ingesting something, so they might not question it as much. But I did have a lot of people that thought I was crazy, and I think the fact that I'm still doing it 2 years later quite happily, and I lost weight and I've maintained weight, because all these people that were concerned have seen me like at various weights, like high, low, high, low, high, low, and no one really had a problem ever with me doing Weight Watchers. So I don't, I did have the naysayers, but I don't get it anymore, really. Or mostly what I hear now is, I could never do that. And I say, yes, you can. But good luck, because it is kind of an uphill battle with people thinking you're crazy. Or send them to my channel. That'd be nice. Okay. You're ending your 18 hours with me. Yay. I would love to know what you're breaking your window with. So feel free to share later. I'll get to it if you want to. So Mini Mom or Mine Mom says, hi, I'm trying scrambled eggs mixed with scrambled eggs for the first time right now after you mentioned it. It's good. I'm guessing you mean cottage cheese. And oh my gosh, is it ever good? I absolutely love it. Oh, I see. Actually, wait, it looks like there's another I meant mixed with cottage cheese. Yes, it is so good. If you like cheesy eggs, if you like cottage cheese and you like eggs, I definitely suggest making it. It is so good. It's so high protein. And I actually find myself craving it all the time. So I'm glad you enjoy it, but it really fills me up, and that makes it hard to eat dinner soon. So I don't do it all the time, but it's really delicious. We're having sorry, this is like a side note. We're having waffles for dinner this week, and I purposely planned waffles because I thought it would be really good to have scrambled eggs with cottage cheese on the side. And I'm looking forward to it. It's not tonight, probably tomorrow, but yummy. I'm glad you're liking it. Hi, Leanne. Good to see you. She said, good afternoon. Hello from Mississippi. Hello. Welcome. Glad to have you. I've never been to Mississippi. I someday would like to go visit. The Curious Stylist said she's been watching for about 2 weeks. You're having good success. Congratulations. She also says she drinks lemon water all day. She knows that's not fasting clean, but that she loves lemon water. So even though I do clean fast, and I think that it has helped me be successful, if you're able to drink lemon water and fast and see results, I'm not one to tell you you're doing it wrong. I mean, if you're successful and you're used to that, I think it's kind of like when I first started intermittent fasting, I started with, I joked with my friend that it was Sinner's coffee. It was flavored black coffee. I would do creme brulee, French vanilla, all hazelnut. I don't even like the taste of them anymore, but that's a totally different subject. But I, for years, would make those coffees as a treat when I wanted kind of a snack at night, but I didn't really want to eat. Those were always what I did. And that was like early fasting before I knew I was fasting. And it never triggered me to feel like I was about to eat. I never had that. I had it in place of breakfast for years. I never ate breakfast when I was working because I was too lazy to get up early enough to eat breakfast. And then I would just drink coffee. And so I think because I was so used to having that be instead of eating, it never triggered me to feel like I was going to eat. If you love lemon water and that is like such a ritual to you and you're able to get the fast in, maybe there's autophagy difference. maybe there's slower to reach ketosis. I don't know. But if you're able to see results and it helps you fast, I think learning to fast is much more important than being super like legalistic about it. So good for you. It's not how I wouldn't suggest people start drinking lemon water, but it works for you. Oh, Asheville, North Carolina, first live. Thank you, Beth. I'm excited you're here too. Angie Perry says, hey there. Oh, you're watching from South Haven. One of my absolute favorite places too. This is like, okay, so she's from Indianapolis and says that she's at one of her favorite vacation spots in South Haven. You're like 50 minutes from me. My daughter actually plays South Haven in sports. I would love to buy a South Haven house and have it be an Airbnb, but mainly I want it for a vacation house for us, and then have Airbnb barely pay the bills. Like, I don't need to make money on it. I just want to cover the cost so that I can have a South Haven house. But that is like a long time from now. So I love South Haven. I hope you enjoy your week and have some Sherman's ice cream. QS, oh, you're very kind, says I look incredible. I tell you guys, I sit in the sunlight, but it's diffused. Best lighting ever. You don't see my flaws. It just makes me look better than I do. But thank you. Okay. Animal Lover 555 started intermittent fasting in March, began 16.8 in the last 3 weeks, mostly 18 and many 20s. Good for you. You're at a second plateau, no loss in a month. My first question and first thought, because it worked well for me. So my experience is all based on me, obviously. I really found a lot of success in doing the down day and then an up day. I still do it because I think it's that effective for me. And if you haven't tried that, that would be my first course of action, is to do a down day, whether it's 500 calories or just a complete fast, whatever you think would be easier for you. And it might take a couple of tries to learn what's easier for you. Do a fast, the down day, and then have the up day. Add that once a week. And if you like it, you could add it twice a week if you wanted to try to accelerate it. But I think that would help break a plateau. And it was very important in my losing weight. So good luck. And now I just like them because I do them so much. Just a second, I need a drink before my voice starts cracking. Chloe Bug says she's 43 hours into her first 72-hour fast and it's getting tough. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Can't remember specifically then if it was hard for me, but keep going. You can do it. I don't have really many more thoughts because I'm trying to think back to my 43 hours would have been like the mental math. I purposely planned it when we had really busy time, and that was helpful. So can you get out and go on a walk? Are there returns? Could you go to the store, have a nice coffee, go do a bunch? I hate doing returns, but go to stores and do things that are going to fill your time. Can you if you have children, go take your children to the park, take a book, get out of the house. That's usually like what really, really helps me. But good luck and congrats on 43 hours. I know you can do it. I've only done one 72-hour fast. I want to get a 100-hour fast this summer. Just because it sounds 100, it just sounds celebratory. So look for that, but I have a feeling it'll get hard. But I was kind of disappointed when I ended my 72-hour fast. So I figure I can do it, but you can do 72 hours. I'm cheering for you. Obviously, if you start feeling like, medically you don't, but I'm cheering for you in Michigan. Have I ever experimented with doing an up day before the down day? No, I have never done that. And I don't really know why you couldn't do it. We talked about this last week. One of my big motivators of a down day is looking forward to an up day. So I think that would be kind of hard, although you could still have like whatever your normal eating window is, that to look forward to after your down day. I don't know of any reason that you couldn't, but I've never done it. So I don't have like experience to share with you. You just don't want your body to feel like it's going to starve. So if you properly have enough, like I wouldn't have a small eating window the next day, even if it's not a down day. following a down day, make sure that you're eating enough so your body doesn't feel like, we had very little yesterday and you're still really restrictive today. You don't want your body to feel shocked, but I don't know of any reason, but I've never done it. And thank you. I like to avoid drama, so I'm glad that comes through. Although my daughter's mad at me right now upstairs, so she might not agree with that. Let's see. Culvers and elephant ears, you don't know what they are? Okay, elephant ears, I have learned, are a Midwest thing. I'm going to Google on my phone to show you guys. So maybe there are other places, but they're called other things. So I'm going to search it, but they were all elephant ears. When I was a kid, we would go to this art festival. It's like a fair. Okay. The first thing that came up were the plants. Someone enlightened me that there are plants called elephant ears. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is an elephant ear. It's basically dough fried, and then you top it with cinnamon and sugar, and it's delightful. It's so simple, but it's perfect. It's one of my favorite foods, and it was always like a hang up when I did diets. I would feel like I couldn't eat an elephant ear, and it's one of those things like you just don't see it everywhere. It's not like a chocolate chip cookie that you can get multiple places or you frequently have an opportunity to have one. So when I had an opportunity to have an elephant ear, and they sometimes are just giant, but they're very, very thin. They're obviously not a healthy food. But when I had the opportunity to have an elephant ear, I would want to eat one, and I loved it. And it very much felt nostalgic, and it just felt like a treat. But if I were dieting, I wouldn't know how to count the points, or I felt like I had to share it or save some for later, but they're not good as leftovers. They're awful. I mean, you want it fresh and fried. But I just love them. And then I learned how to make them. So if I went through the effort of making them, I wouldn't want to not eat them. So elephant ears to me were just like a big thing that once I was fasting, I felt free to enjoy them. However, and whenever I had the opportunity, which is very infrequent, but I didn't feel restricted. And so they're fried dough with cinnamon sugar. And Culver's is a fast food chain. It's also a Midwest thing. I think they're branching out all over, but they started in Wisconsin. They have butter burgers, so it's cheeseburgers, and then they put butter and toast your buns. Very delicious. And they have things like custard. That's the ice cream I was talking about. They have frozen custard and onion rings and cheese curds. It's like McDonald's wise old uncle. I love Culver's, and it's very good. They also make their own root beer. I love watching your channel. Oh, intermittent fasting with Susan. You must have a channel yourself. Intermittent fasting is amazing. 16 months for me and 35 pounds lighter. Thanks for helping spread the word. I hear my son. I couldn't tell if it was the front door or my son. I'm sorry. I will have to check out your channel. If I have checked out your channel, I apologize for it not ringing a bell right now. But it sounds like you're spreading the word too. I do think I literally just want the world, even if everyone doesn't do it, to just to be exposed to the possibility so that if it ever seems like a good solution to you, you know it's there. I love it. And it has changed my life, obviously. Carissa, first time catching me live. Glad you're here. Culver's is a fast food chain. Yes, it is. Hi, Jenny. One blogger this is Pam says, one blogger I watched was 16.8 and says she loves the autophagy part of it. But others say autophagy doesn't happen until 18 to 20 hours. I really don't have any insight on which is accurate. I do get I still get the keto taste in my mouth every once in a while. I never experience anything where I'm in ketosis until 18 plus hours, which I would believe, and this is using blood testing whenever I prick my finger. I definitely think that I experience that further into fast, which leads me to believe that's when autophagy occurs. But I don't know. I've never studied it, and I'm not sciencey. So I really don't know the answer, but I feel like I'm probably getting more out of it when I get longer, the 18 to 20 plus hour fast. Okay, someone else is talking about lemon water doesn't break fast, according to Dr. Fung. Carissa's Corner. She says she's always said she'd never try black coffee. I'm thinking maybe of trying it. Do it. Just experimentally, maybe. I love my cream. I have to give it a try. Not this week, though. So one thing I will 100% say that if you're learning to fast, don't try to change everything at once. So I think it's really a good idea to not like throw yourself in and feel like you have to change that right away. But I definitely, I'm a huge lover of the Panera Sips Club. I pay one monthly fee and I can go there every 2 hours and get iced coffee, black coffee, light roast, dark roast, decaf. I love it. And I have a Panera very close to my house, but I love it. And I love their iced coffee in the winter. I love their hot coffees. And it's essentially like I barely buy coffee anymore because I get it all there. It saves me money. But having coffee, and they have iced tea, unflavored iced tea there too. Really, it makes it much easier for me because I can have sparkling water, I can have plain iced water, I can have hot coffee, I can have iced coffee, I can have cold brew black coffee. It feels like I have options during my fast. So good luck, but don't try. I think you're doing it good. Take it slow, get used to the fasting. Once you're good with that, then maybe try the black coffee, but I love it. I started drinking black coffee because I was poor, a poor college student with no money, and my work gave us coffee for free, and I drank a lot of coffee. So I started loving it that way. Okay, someone's looking for more. Kayla Cox is another person someone recommends. Someone's looking for recommendations. I'm having a little trouble tracking my body and finding different times to eat each day. I end up eating only dinner somewhere between 5 and 8. Tricking my body. Sorry. I feel like eating between 5 and 8, there's still like a 3-hour variance. Is that the same 3 hours every day? And if it works for you, let it work for you. But it even could be that sometimes you eat 3 to 8. It doesn't have to be shorter windows or 5 to 10, just throwing in differences every once in a while. But if it's hard for you to do that and 5 to 8 works and you feel great, do that. Different schedules are going to work for everyone. And even if you do 5 to 8 most days, I doubt that it's literally 5 on the dot to 8 on the dot. And that legalistic approach really isn't going to probably be too helpful in the long run, but for some people it might work. I must be really behind because you guys are answering questions after like a ways after. Oh, I'm getting so far behind you guys. I'm sorry. Carissa, you have a YouTube channel. Yay. More to check out. Dawn says, after doing 16.8 for a few months, I finally got to 18.6 and just started 24 on Sunday. Congratulations. So you are feeling hungrier. Maybe it's just more adjusting. And if 18.6 feels really good, maybe only do a couple of the 24. And there are days that to get to a 20-hour fast, I do feel hungry, and it's definitely situational. But like yesterday, I took my kids to the beach. We went there and we brought a delicious trail mix it's like a s'mores flavor from Aldi. It is so good. But my kids, I specifically packed that for them. We brought 2 friends. They were all eating it, and I was still fasting. But like every time I saw the trail mix, I was like, okay, you're not opening your window with that. That is not what it's going to be. And I waited till dinner, but I had to push through. And then guess what I ate a handful of right after dinner? The trail mix. And it was good, but it was worth waiting for. No judgment for Carissa on her new channel. It's very hard to put yourself out there. And if I look back at my old videos, I judge myself. So no one else needs to. So no judgment for Carissa. Hello from hot North Carolina. Hello from hot Michigan. It's only 80 here. It's been a lot hotter, but it's still like I'll take 80 every day. I love that. QS says loves being free on the weekend, so starts fasting every 2 days and starts on Sunday. I think it's amazing to hear and see people do different variations of schedules. What works for you isn't going to work for everyone. But I think that people really need to see a variety of schedules, because if you see QS implementing it that way, and then I get my 18 minimum and I have a down day and an up day, and then you see Joe Schmo does something different, and you take pieces and you start to build your own fasting plan. You say, well, I like doing the down day, up day, but I want my weekends free. And you start building it. You're going to come up with a schedule for you. And I think it's awesome that everyone can do it differently while still doing fasting. It's kind of a hard concept to wrap your mind around because it's not 1 + 2 = 3, but it's so flexible. And once you like get it, that's where the power is. So thank you for sharing that. Sugar creeps in again and again and again and gets me to plateau. I definitely still eat sugar. And I didn't do this to begin with, but one of the biggest things that I've learned very recently is I want a lot more sugar if I open my eating window with it. So not opening my eating window with sugar helps me to not eat as much sugar. So that is a new tip that I have. Once I started opening my window with proteins, I really crave sugar a lot less. I still eat it. I still love sugar. But if I open my eating window with something sugary, I want sugar the entire eating window. So that is a little bit of advice for you. Helpful advice from you is to eat the treat so you don't end up obsessing about it later. If you're consistent with fasting, eating becomes more intuitive rather than restrictive. That is 100% where I'm at. That's why I don't restrict anything. Love it. How do I keep my sugar at bay? So I kind of just addressed it. I've learned to not open my eating window with sugar. And then yesterday, my husband and I split a fritter. They're giant. You guys have seen them. I've shared them. That was our dessert on the way home from go-karts. We split it in half, and then I didn't even eat it because I didn't feel the need to finish it. I ate what I liked, and it was delicious, and I'm sure I'll eat whatever the next fritter is we get. But because I wasn't obsessed with it, I didn't feel the need to just make myself uncomfortable finishing my half. And I think that just comes with allowing myself to enjoy it. And then the more I fast and the more I have my eating windows, again, as Joy said, eating becomes more intuitive and not as restrictive. So I say keep on. Don't limit the foods that you can eat. And I'm not saying eat a gallon of ice cream. And if that is where you're struggling, that might need obviously different like attention than I can give. But allowing yourself to eat whatever it is that you crave in your eating window. Oh, there's my son. Okay. This is my sign that I'm going too long. Although I'm barely at half an hour. I'm sidetracked now and distracted. But allowing myself to eat sugar and not be like restricted. And then the more I fast, the easier it does become. Hi, Kelly. You want to come say hi? Someone's asking for scrambled eggs and cottage cheese recipe. So what I do, and this is kind of a large portion, but it's a pretty half a cup of cottage cheese to 3 eggs. I just break the eggs. I always make them in butter. So a little bit of butter, crack my 3 eggs, and then I just half cup-ish. I really don't measure, but I like it pretty cheesy. And that's a really generous, nice protein version. But I don't really, and then I use a soft spatula and just continue to stir it the whole time. And it's delicious. It is kind of runny because cottage cheese is liquidy. So I like to turn it off the heat, put a lid on it and let it sit so that I know that it's cooked. So Freya says she's struggling to be consistent at the moment, but you'll get there. Yes, you will. Yeah. I believe in you. And honestly, I think recognizing that you will get there, that's all you need. You just need to know, even if it's not easy now, and you're not in Coastingville now, you will be. Kel says yes. Okay. Oh, yum. Carissa says she's having meat broth Cajun pasta with fermented sourdough. Congrats. That sounds delicious. And dessert. Yay. Guys, I am so sorry. I am going to have to go because hello from Vegas. So I see one more question and then I'll go. Yeah. Stop it. Do I see any benefit to calorie counting for those not losing? My first question would be, are you used to fasting? I would focus on getting used to fasting. And then if you feel like you need to restrict within your eating window, I definitely think there's merit. Like, I know if I counted calories, I could lose more weight. I know I could lose more weight if I cut out sugar. When I cut out carbs, I did lose more weight. It's just not worth it to me because I like the mental freedom much more than I dislike the extra 5 pounds or 10 pounds that I could lose. So I think there is use and utility for it. It's just not something that I personally engage in. I'd much rather just enjoy my eating window, open my window, close it, be done with it. But there are so many ways, and dieting within your eating window is something you could do to lose the weight and then learn to be more intuitive after you lose the weight. But I just have never done that except for on my down days. That's the only time I count calories. Okay, he left. Maybe I can get a few more minutes. Becky gave very encouraging feedback. Congrats on reading the book and down 3 pounds and 4 inches in her 28-day fast start. Congrats. I've never been to Oklahoma. That's where Shelly's from. I would love to go there too. Okay, I hear him coming back down. I don't have a suggestion on how often to do 72-hour fast. I really don't know. I just enjoyed doing one, so I want to do it again. I probably will do like one every 3 to 4 months. So that'd be 3 or 4 a year. But I don't have like a health recommendation behind that. But I have to go because he's now banging upstairs, letting me know he's waiting for me. So I appreciate you guys joining. Next week, 1:30, and soon they'll be in school. Soon as in September, and this will be kid-free. Yay. But, I do love summer, so I'm not trying to wish it away. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Saturday, there's a new video coming out. It's all of the advice that you guys have shared. I'm going to read that and put it out there. There are a couple of YouTubers that have contributed, so I'm excited to share all of it. And we're going now. Chow down and chow. You want to say that? You want to say chow down and chow? Come on, do it. Okay. Bye, guys.